You want me to put that on my todger?
Birthday celebration without Harry. Hello everybody, I'm H.G. Tudor. Well, what are the headlines around the world at the moment? Apparently the Niger junta closes airspace as ECOWAS deadline expires. Ukraine says Jeddah peace talks productive. Russia calls meeting futile. France suspends development and budget aid to Burkina Faso. 4 Syrian soldiers are killed in Israeli strikes near Damascus. Cambodian king appoints Hun Sen's son as new prime minister. Iran forces women defying hijab laws into psychiatric treatment. Dozens have been killed after a passenger train derailed in southern Pakistan. Iraq asks the United States and the UK to extradite former officials in $2.5 billion corruption scandal. And the US were knocked out of the Women's World Cup in a penalty shootout against Sweden. But a sport at the end amongst all those heavyweight news items. But of course, what you all want to know is how Harry's wife celebrated her 42nd birthday, because that's what the world really needs to know. And according to Page 6 and an article by Sarah Nathan, she's Harry's wife. He's just Ken. The Duchess of Sussex celebrated her 42nd birthday early by going to see the Barbie movie with pal Portia de Rossi and a couple of other girlfriends. The group watched the Margot Robbie-led feminist hit at a Santa Barbara theatre earlier this week, sources say, while Prince Harry remained home at their $14 million Monte Shitshow Californian estate. The suit's alum kept the festivities going by joining friends at the posh San Isidro Ranch Hotel in Santa Barbara. We hear the controversial royal posed for photos and made videos with the bachelorette group that was celebrating at the hotel. Wouldn't be a surprise that she's imposing herself on what somebody else is doing for the purposes of drawing fuel and asserting control. One onlooker tells us Harry's wife went over to wish the bride good luck. Oh dear. Well, given that Harry's wife has got involved in wishing you good luck for your marriage, means with the Sadim touch, you're going to be divorced within a couple of years, but there we are. Harry, 38, stayed behind while his wife had fun with her friends at the start of the week. He made sure that they still celebrated her special day. On Wednesday, the Sussexes were spotted grabbing dinner at celebrity hotspot Treyloon in Monte Shitshow. It then goes on to describe the zebra dress by Grift that she wore. As for the couple's plans for her actual birthday, which fell last Friday, apparently Harry's wife and Harry will spend the day at home with their 2 children, Prince Archie 4 and Princess Lilibet 2. An insider tells us the prince is purposely staying behind to be with Harry's wife, as he is slated to appear at the ISPS Sport Values Summit Special Edition in Tokyo next Wednesday. After arriving in Japan, Harry will head to Singapore with Argentinian polo player Nacho Figueras, where they'll play in the 2023 Santa Bali ISPS Handa Polo Cup at the Singapore Polo Club on Saturday. Hopefully for them, Harry's wife won't be in attendance attempting to squirm her way into a photo opportunity and grab the trophy off people see parts pass him with regard to the pushy polo seal. It's unclear if the former actress plans to join her husband in Asia, but the pair are confirmed to attend the Invictus Games together in Dusseldorf, Germany, in September. However, Page 6 can confirm that Harry's wife and Harry will not be stopping in at Balmoral in Scotland to join King Charles and the rest of the royal family to commemorate the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death on September the 8th. Well, of course they wouldn't do that. The reason being is that Harry's wife won't allow it to happen. She has no sense of decorum or dignity. She regards the late Queen Elizabeth II as an irrelevancy because she's dead. It serves no purpose for her to go and attend to pay her respects, and naturally, her narcissism will direct her not to take such steps because that will caused problems for her with regard to the control of the other members of the royal family, because her narcissism will still perceive that they're going to be hostile towards her. Page 6 suggests that the appearance at the games could kick off a major comeback for Harry's wife. Another major comeback, after the other major comeback that didn't happen, and the one before that didn't happen, and the one before that didn't happen. Once again, in order to stay in the news, Harry's wife goes and watches a film. Hardly newsworthy, and indeed, I sit here commenting on it, of course, but only doing so in order to enable you to learn more about what she's doing vis-a-vis her narcissism. Harry didn't attend. You might read into that, well, he didn't attend because they're not together and she goes off and does her own thing. More likely, he wasn't involved because it was an evening out with female non-intimate secondary sources, and he simply wasn't involved and didn't expect to be involved. And that was the end of that. They went out for dinner, of course, although there were suggestions, unconfirmed, that they got into separate vehicles thereafter. It remains very much up in the air as to what their actual status is, some suggesting that they have indeed separated and that these are just actions which are being taken for the purposes of maintaining a front and a facade, whereas others claim that all is well within the world of the gruesome twosome. What you can rely on is this. He's in the sustained devaluation because that's where he would be time-wise, and he'll get the occasional respite period, as I've explained to you before. That's the big advantage of looking at this through the lens of narcissism. Because she is one, that enables you to know what the dynamic will be between her and her primary source, which is Harry. The narcissist never deviates from this. The narcissist will seduce, give a golden period. It will always move to devaluation, which will include respite periods, which is where Harry's at. And then there might follow disengagement, there might follow escape, and there might be otherwise the roller coaster that takes place between the two, continuing until one party or the other dies. Harry is in a sustained devaluation, of that you can be assured. And it might be that they're separated as part of that sustained devaluation and then disengagement has occurred, but there's no certainty about that. What's more likely is they're spending time apart because of the sustained devaluation, and when they're together, it is part of a respite period that she's granting him, and disengagement has not yet actually occurred, but it's more than likely going to do so. Harry's wife, in the meanwhile, ensuring that she has to be seen, and it's interesting, of course, that it demonstrates that she almost seems to have new friends moving around with them. We were hearing that it was, I think, Victoria Jackson. Now it's hanging out with Portia de Rossi and somebody else. That she shifts through these different groups because of the necessity of wanting to be seen, but also because she can't keep friends. She shelves them, and many people, of course, don't want anything to do with her. The fact is that despite all of this attempt to try and make her popular by saying, oh, she went to watch Barbie, so hey, she's like everybody else watching Barbie or Oppenheimer, and look, she went over and she was nice to somebody who was getting married, and look, that shows that she is an approachable and decent person. It's not, it's just facade management. All of this isn't going to save her. Too many people know what she's like, too many people have seen through it all, and it's not going to rehabilitate her. Despite the best efforts of the agency that she's signed up to, it simply isn't going to happen. Once again, of course, notice the suggestion that the Invictus Games, which of course we all know are the Harry's wife's games, are going to be seen as an opportunity to kick off a major comeback for her. Ah, yes, all about her. Nothing to do with the fact that it involves heroic wounded service people. Let's all focus on the non-entity that's Harry's wife. The focus ought to be on the wounded service participants and their families, but she can't have that. It can't be about them. She has to divert the attention onto her, and there's talk about how it's another major comeback for her. All in all, a rather non-story about what occurred on her birthday without Harry, because basically she just went to the cinema with some so-called mates of hers, and they went out for dinner themselves on another occasion. But woven into that, there's plenty of other material which just demonstrates it's the same old Harry's wife, always making it about her, always drawing the attention, fuel onto her, and that she is attempting to distract people from the failures that have gone on, but ultimately, it's not going to work. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.